As soon as classes were over, Jolene went straight to her apartment. She was laying on her bed and staring at the ceiling. The thought of that needed to plan the lesson for the following day, which she should have prepared along with the rest of the week's lessons, probably a week ago, crossed her mind. She sighed. Some things never change. Jolene decided to go to the mall to buy perfume and maybe shoes. That would make me feel better. She was about to text Alexandra, but decided against it. Shopping alone was what she did to relax. The weather was rather warm and sunny that day. She wore some casual clothes, white shorts with a light blue top. She slipped her sunglasses on and concluded that she was ready for relaxed shopping. The mall was larger than Jolene expected. She visited nearly every store before hunger got the best of her. She was now ready to meet the food court. Jolene put her bags in a table near the fried chicken restaurant where she could keep an eye on them and got in the line. She was listening to her favorite playlist. The stress of the first day vanished. This was just what I needed. She put her food tray on the table and was about to sit when she felt a hand brush her behind. Okay, this is weird. Jolene expected the hand to move away, but it did not. She was frozen from rage. The unknown guy quickly grabbed her hand and tried to drag her away from her table, but she resisted. Jolene tried to reason with the guy because she did not want to get into trouble on her first week in town, but he reeked alcohol and threatened her with a pocket knife. Great, so much for staying out of trouble. I was finally relaxed, and this dude had to come ruin my mood. Hell nah. She glared at him, and he stiffened. Hey, dude, stay away from her, she heard someone say, but it was too late. The guy was already unconscious on the floor. Jolene had punched him in the face and kicked him in the back of his head. She poked his cheek, and sure enough, he was a goner. A few minutes before the incident, Lancelot had been standing in line to get fried chicken with Samuel and 2 human girls they met that day. He usually did not go for human girls, but he considered that those ones were too willing to waste. While he talked to the bottle blonde named Sally or Molly, something, or more specifically, someone else caught his attention. At the front of the line, there was a girl that he found enchanting. Lancelot could only see her profile and wore sunglasses, but she was gorgeous. He saw her take her order and walk to a nearby table, and he almost approached her. However, the blonde latched to his shoulder and called his name with a voice that he believed to be too high-pitched and annoying. Lancelot, you are not listening. She pouted. Of course I am. It is just that the smell of fried chicken is making me hungrier. Sorry. By the time his eyes found the beautiful brunette again, some other guy was holding her wrist. Lancelot could not say he was surprised. Someone like her would not be alone. He decided to go back to talking to the girl beside him. Still, he heard something that immediately made him stiffen. Hey, let me go. I will not tell anyone, but you need to leave me alone, the brunette said. Lancelot immediately made his way to her, ignoring Samuel and Sally. Hey, dude, stay away from her. Lancelot could not finish his sentence before the guy was cold on the floor. She bent down and cautiously poked the guy. Lancelot thought, I cannot complain of the sight in front of me. At least he is alive. She shrugged and turned to face him. Oh, Mr. Lancelot King, were you wishing to be my knight in Shining Amour? She rested her hand on her chest, which immediately caught his attention. How does this beauty knows my name? I am sure I would recognize her if she had passed through me, Lancelot asked himself. Hey, eyes up here. She snapped her fingers and removed her sunglasses. Now, I recognized her. How did I not notice that perfume? I must have been distracted, Lancelot smirked. Oh, but if it's you, Jolene. Hello there. Lancelot waved his hand. She frowned. It is Ms. Amores for you, Mr. One. King. You certainly do not look like my teacher right now. She looked down to her outfit and blushed. Cute, he thought. Teachers have a lives outside the school, Mr. King. Lancelot grinned. I completely understand and want to be part of your life outside of school, Jolene. He winked and she rolled her eyes. If you excuse me, my chicken is getting cold. She passed by him and sat at her table. Lancelot returned to the line as Samuel was ready to order and got food. The group of teenagers sat at Jolene's table. Lancelot was not sure why he wanted to keep talking to her. She arched an eyebrow, looking unamused. After a few seconds, she sighed and put her hands up. May I know, why am I third-wheeling you and Mr. Clark? She asked flatly. We just thought it would be nice to get to know our new teacher better. For some reason, Lancelot enjoyed watching her facial expressions as he annoyed her. Gee, thanks for your concern, kids. Oh, she did not just go there. Want me to show you how much of a man I am? She snorted. Dude, that was so corny. Come on, you can do better. Lancelot gave her a sly smile and saw realization flash in her eyes. I mean, that is inappropriate. Mr. King. She smiled sheepishly, and everyone but Sally broke out in laughter. Hey babe, why are we eating with your teacher? She must be old and boring, said Sally, glaring at Jolene. Lancelot rolled his eyes. Oh, there goes another one. I do not know what makes these girls think that calling a grown person babe is endearing. I agree with you, kiddo. I could not remove my dentures because they made me feel too shy. Jolene sighed dramatically. Do you really? Asked Sally. I swear this girl is retarded, thought Lancelot. I am so happy you do not attend to my school. Jolene sneered and proceeded to eat in silence. After 10 minutes, their curiosity died out, and the two couples proceeded to tongue wrestle right in front of Jolene. Things began to turn hot between Lancelot and the blonde, and her appetite was definitely gone. Jolene stood up and threw the rest of her food in the nearest bin. Her wolf was busy whimpering and feeling sorry for herself. She plopped down the chair and sighed. Jolene looked up at the ceiling and closed her eyes, ignoring the scene in front of her. If this guy turns out to be my mate, I will definitely be screwed, she thought. How long do I have to wait to find out? Lancelot, when is your birthday? Jolene whispered, not expecting an answer. She had concluded that the situation resulted from karma for all the guys she had screwed over. Jolene chuckled and straightened up, to realize that the guys had stopped the saliva exchange and were now staring intently at her. My birthday is in 4 months, right before winter break. You are sighing so much. Are you having love problems, Teach? Asked Lancelot, smirking. You have no idea, kid. Jolene did not feel like fighting him any longer. Her stomach was still twisted. I need to go now. It was nice to meet you guys here. Bye. Jolene took her stuff and left without waiting for their answer. She rushed home, began working on the following day's class, and planned some other classes for the week. The Luna had asked Jolene to go to the pack house the next day. It turns out that her late mother was the Luna's best friend and the daughter of the alpha of a pack, which was wiped off by rogues in her home country. The Luna would tell Jolene more about her mother after school the following day. Still, Jolene met her later that day for tea and to sleep at the pack house. She packed some clothes for that night and the next day's outfit and drove to the pack house. Jolene. The Luna was waiting for me in front of the house. As soon as she saw me, she broke down crying. Fizz? Emma? It has been so long. She pulled me into a tight hug and I could barely breathe. A tall, handsome man rushed out from the main door. He looked like an older version of Lancelot, so he had to be the alpha. His eyes were golden, but he calmed down once he saw me. Emma, is that you? He asked, cocking his head to the side. The Luna finally released me. Oh, hello, Alpha and Luna. I am Jolene. Nice to meet you. I bowed. May I know who Emma is? A yearning look flashed through the Luna's eyes, but it was quickly replaced with excitement. Emma was your mother, sweetie. Excuse us, you look just like her. Come with me. Let me show you. They dragged me inside the house and to a room full of portraits. The Luna showed me a picture with a younger version of the Alpha and the Luna, and a younger woman in the middle of them with her arms across their shoulders. I recognized the woman as she looked just like me, but had shorter hair. She looked more on the tomboy fighter style. Oh my gosh, my mom was a third wheel. Pretty nice, Jolene. We finally see a picture of our mom, and this is your reaction, said my wolf. Oh, are you finally done feeling sorry for yourself? I said. Shut up. Shut up. The Luna and the Alpha laughed. That sounds like something she would say. The Alpha said, Your mother was actually our matchmaker, dear. The Luna winked. She looked so poised. When I winked, it looked as if I was having a stroke. I have some more work to do, so I am leaving to the main house. Have fun with your girly chat. The Alpha gave the Luna a quick kiss and left. The Luna and I entered a smaller room where tea was already served. So, tell me, how has your life been? Tell me about your family, the Luna said. I lost my parents when I was 1 year old and was adopted by a human couple. I had to leave them when I turned 10 and had my first shift, but I have since reconnected with them. I was raised by the Alpha of the Silver Fang Pack. Oh, so you were raised by the Alpha family. You're Beta Amores, aren't you? How did you become the Beta? I smiled politely. We lost our Beta and his wife a while ago, and his only son was 5 at the time. He's 16 right now. I took over the responsibilities as Beta of the pack and head of the warriors at 18. I've trained the future Beta since he was 7 years old. Oh, poor boy. It must have been so difficult for him to lose his parents at such a young age. How is he doing? Right now, he is training in a neighboring pack. I plan to keep training him here in a couple of months if the Alpha approves. He looks up to me as a mother figure. Way to make a girl feel old. I chuckled. The Luna snickered. Oh, so you know the struggles of raising a teenage son? Sadly. I'm sorry for what happened to your parents. If I'd known, I would have taken you in. She put her hand on mine. Do not feel bad, Luna. I have no regrets about my life at the moment. My only pain is not having found my mate yet. I smiled and squeezed her hand. Soon you will, Jolene. Call me Mary, by the way. You are family. Thank you, Mary. Talking to her made me feel closer to my mother. We talked for about an hour about our likes and dislikes, and it turned out we had similar tastes. We agreed to have lunch together, tomorrow. Your room is the 4th on the right in the 2nd floor. I put a moon sticker on top of the door frame. Good night, Jolene. We said our goodbyes, and I went, find my room. At this point, I was more asleep than awake. I walked up the stairs and turned. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. This must be it. The door wasn't locked, so I opened it. There was Lancelot with the 2 girls from this afternoon, one on her 4s and the other beside him, kissing him. Harder, the blonde said, and he began thrusting harder. Now I was awake. Oops, wrong room, sorry. His gaze met mine, and he stopped. He said something I didn't bother listening to as I sprinted out of the room, slamming the door behind me. Laurentia was already whimpering, and I rolled my eyes as I walked to the stairs. I had effectively taken left instead of right. I facepalmed. This time, I checked for the sticker before opening the door. Yes, this was the room. I sunk into the soft king-size bed and observed the room. It was painted in lavender tones. It had a walk-in closet, a black dressing table, a small brown sofa facing the large windows, a bookshelf on one side, and a desk with a chair on the other. I even got my own bathroom. The room was way better than I expected. I considered moving in here permanently for a moment, but then laughed at the silly idea. My possible mate lived down the hall, and he seemed like a fuckboy. Laurentia has not shut up her sobbing yet. It's official. We're getting a new mate. There's no way I'm accepting that, Laurentia growled. Are you seriously suggesting what I think you are suggesting? You were as opposed to the idea as much as I was. I was against the idea, but he will reject us. I can feel it. Call it intuition or experience, but I think we will wait 4 months only to have our heart broken. She sighed. Thankfully, she still wasn't head over heels for him. Let's make a deal, said Laurentia. I am listening. If he rejects us, I swear I will give up immediately. I will not mope around, and I will accept whatever choice mate that you pick. In the case a werewolf's mate died, or if she was rejected by his or her mate, after accepting the rejection, it was possible to find a new mate as long as the wolf approved of him. This rarely happened, though, as wolves were too stubborn to give up their mates even after rejection. What is the catch? I asked. 1 kiss. 1 kiss from my true mate, I will forget about him. I will use these months to mentally prepare for what may happen. That is the only thing I ask for. Take it easy. He might not reject us. I am just being paranoid. I was feeling guilty for my negativity. I wished my intuition told me otherwise, but I cannot ignore what I have right before me. That kid is not going to give up his man-warring ways for me. I trust your instinct and your judgment. Jolene. If you say it, it must be true. I might be being blind because of the bond. I am sorry, Laurentia, I said. Jolene, I could not sleep that night. The previous night's events still haunt me. I checked the time, 5:30 a.m. I sighed and stared at the ceiling. I guess karma is real. I covered my eyes with my forearm. You may actually deserve it, said Laurentia. You are still mad at me for what happened 3 years ago. I thought you hated him. Laurentia ignored me since I was 17, and until I became 19 and started looking for my mate because she wanted me to wait for him or her. Still, I did not believe in mates at that time. I was young and stupid. I did not like him because he is a human, but what you did to him, that was messed up, Laurentia said. I blocked her. I do not need a voice reminding me of all my stupid decisions. I got up and took a shower. I guess I will go have breakfast and get to school early. I did get breakfast, but I got distracted by my book, Chronicle of a Death Foretold. My eyes were glued to the book. By the time I checked the time, I had 30 minutes to get to class. At least I was not going to be late. I arrived at school, and the hallways were empty. I practiced what Alexandra taught me yesterday and ran to my class. Thanks to my training, my breathing was nice and regular when I got there. Today's class flowed nicely. My students seemed to like the teaching method I chose. My no homework policy may have something to do with it. I met with Luna Mary today in a cafe, which was also a bookstore. Mary was already waiting for me by the time I arrived there. Nice. Hello there, Jolene. Look at you, so formal. Chuckled. Yeah, thank you. I actually did not have time to go get changed. I get distracted easily. I understand. You should try their cafe latte. I know it sounds simple, but it is the best I have ever tasted, said Mary. Cafe latte, is it? I smiled. We got our orders and sat in a booth. Jolene, you have no idea how glad I am you are here. There are so many things I have to tell you about your mother. She wiped off a lone tear. Do not be sad. Mary, I am happy to be here. I grinned and squeezed her hand. So, how did my mom end up here? Your mom was actually an orphan like you. After rogues wiped her pack, she ended up living in the streets. She was a pickpocketer. My mom? Really? Now that is surprising. Please, do not think badly of her. She knew not better at the time. So, a couple of our pack members were on a vacation in her city, and she tried to steal from them. Of course, being werewolves, they were no easy target, so they spotted her easily and offered her a meal. They had to bribe her to learn her story. This couple could not have children, so they wanted to take her with them, which, her being as stubborn as she is, she sighs, refused. However, the couple had their heart set on adopting the little girl, so they extended their vacations there. They kept trying and trying to convince every day until she agreed. The father was the younger brother of the beta, so our families were really close. She was 8 at the time, and I was 6. As we grew up, we became closer and closer. Wow, Gad, no idea. She must have had a rough childhood. I scratched the back of my neck nervously. Wasn't it actually similar to yours, dear? Mine could have been worse, but I do not want to go there. I was lucky to be adopted by 2 wonderful families, so it is okay. I smiled softly. So, how was your second day of school? How does my boy behave? Very good. Oh, I noticed he is a very bright boy. He pays attention and participates in class. Mary nodded approvingly. After drinking our coffees, we were to the library section and spent the rest of the afternoon talking about books. We said our goodbyes, and I went to my apartment to read and watch Netflix. The rest of the week consisted of me going to the school to find Lancelot making out with some different girl by the main door, the parking lot, or the lockers every day before class. I just rolled my eyes daily and ignored his teasing remarks at the end of each class. Finally, the weekend arrived. On Friday, I went home to sleep. I had lunch with Alexandra on Saturday, but she could not really hang out for long. It turns out she has a baby. I met the little bundle of joy. She is so cute. On Sunday, I planned the activities for the following 3 weeks. By the time I was done, it was already late at night, so I went to sleep. Today is Monday, and I hope this week is as tolerable as last week. As I walked toward the main entrance, I spotted my mate-to-be dry humping another girl by the parking lot. I sighed as I passed by them. Doesn't this school have any rule against PDA? Still having love problems, Jolene? I heard someone behind me say, I am flattered you stopped all your saliva exchanging over there to talk to us simple mortals. I know I am being rude, but it is my right. He is supposed to be mine. I always have time for a sexy girl like you. He winked, and his companion glared at me. I rolled my eyes. Mr. King? That is inappropriate, I repeated with a flat tone. The phrase that I always use when he comes out with his cringe-worthy pickup lines. Do not be late for class. I walked away. He skipped class, probably to be with that girl from earlier. I handed out worksheets to the students. I was about to go over some new concepts when I noticed that there were no whiteboard markers in the classroom, and I had also forgotten mine. My students were working on their worksheets, so I excused myself and walked to the supply closet. I heard some panting coming from inside, but I did not care. I did not walk here to go back empty-handed because of some horny couple. I wish I had gone back, though. I opened the door to find Lancelot going at it with the girl from earlier. They turned to face me, and the girl pulled away and began to cover herself, while Lancelot did not intend to move. I did not let shock reflect on my face and just rolled my eyes. I walked to the box with whiteboard markers, took a pair, and left the supply closet without saying a word. I blocked the annoying sobbing from Laurentia, walked to class, and proceeded with the class like nothing happened. When class ended and all students had left, the couple from the supply closet entered the classroom, closing the door behind them. I arched one eyebrow and handed today's worksheet to each of them. I talked in a flat tone. Today, I just explained the basic of trigonometric functions. You can memorize tables 3.2 and 3.3 of the book, and we'll be fine. We already discussed the solutions of today's worksheet. Still, you can solve it as homework and hand it to me tomorrow. The pair looked at me astonished. Aren't you going to give us detention or send us to the principal's office or something? Asked the girl. I crossed my arms. Do you want me to do either of that? No, but we were, and you saw. You were not going to tell us anything? The girl said. Use protection because STDs suck and teen pregnancies are not cool? I shrugged. That's it. She sounded almost offended. Lancelot seemed to grow angrier and angrier at the girl's reactions. His jaw and fists were clenched. Look, you stupid, he said to the girl. I put my hand on his arm, and he stopped and visibly relaxed. Look, Ms. Rice. I know you two should be in trouble right now, but let's be honest here. Will detention make you celibate? Chuckled. Consider the homework I gave you your punishment. You have 5 minutes to get to your next class, and my students are waiting outside. You better hurry up, and no dark clothes places for both of you for the rest of the day. Lancelot laughed, and both of them left. The rest of the week was similar to last week. On Friday, I went to the pack house to socialize with other pack members. Or so did Mary when she called me to tell me that I should spend my afternoon there. I took my book, Tell Me 3 Things, with me, and settled on a comfortable sofa near a window. I had probably spent 3 or 4 hours reading my book when I heard voices from the living room. We should go out get some girls, said Lancelot. You know we could call them, right? Asked Samuel. We could do that, but I do not like seconds unless I have to. It is much more fun to make them think they could be the one to change me. All that love at first sight bees, said Lancelot. One day you will find your mate and she will be the one to change you, said Matt. Lancelot snickered at the comment. Dude, are you for real? Do you think I will change just because I meet some girl who smells nice and shit? I only know my future Luna must be perfect, mate or no. You mean you would reject your mate if you don't think she is perfect? Harsh, dude, said Samuel. He is heartless. I feel sorry for his future mate. You know what would be funny? If his mate was one of the pack whores, said Matt. What would be funny is if his mate was someone older like Ms. Amores, a girl who would not put up with his bees, said Samuel. My heart beat faster at the mention of my name. What does he think of me? Lancelot snorted and laughed. Jolene? My mate? Really? I would probably reject her on the spot. Why? She is hot, though, said Samuel. She is hot, but she is too old for me. It would be boring. It is funny teasing her and everything, but being loyal to her for the rest of my life? Nah, I can do way better, Lancelot said. I think that I could hear my heart shatter. I pulled out my cell phone and texted the only person around my age I know here. Alexandra, you are taking me out to drink tonight. Pick me up at my apartment. What happened? I just need it, please. Okay, I will be there in 3 hours. I snuck out the pack house and went to my apartment to get ready. I just need to forget what he said. I felt myself having a panic attack as I drove there. I calmed down enough to speed my way there, tears blurring my vision. I parked outside and broke down crying inside of my car. I just sobbed there for about 40 minutes. Then, I went to my apartment and picked up some sexy outfit. I saw my red dress and chuckled. I thought I would never wear this again.